So I've had a couple conversations with man back to back. One on Saturday night with my brethren. We were talking about man them on the ends who need to get off the ends. Man them who are over tariff, still trying to do up the road thing on the ends. Funny enough, the next day, Sunday, chatting to one of my older cousins, he's like 45. Somehow we got onto the topic of certain man who was big in the heyday, like when they were younger, 20 years old, like in the late 90s and that, still in 2022, still on the ends, still getting into beef with man at funerals, and man are all well into their 40s and that. So I had the conversation with my brethren on Saturday, had the conversation the next day with my cousin on Sunday, and it prompted me to make a live stream later on that day. I don't know, like 8 p.m. It was in the night. And basically I was saying, like, what age should man them just jump off the road thing and, you get me, retire and, you know, get on the right path and that. Now what prompted me to do the live stream and obviously have the conversation and that was basically man met a man on a job, one of the tenants, previously that week. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Obviously, if you know anything about the Queen's Jubilee and that we had, it was a short working week. So it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, man met this man. And when I found out the tenants, they know a black man is coming to their yard. They can tell by the way man talk on the phone. So when I was chatting to him on the phone to tell him that I'm coming and that, I could tell he was adjusting the way he speaks to match the way that I speak. So he's talking kind of street and that. So I knew when I was going to his yard, I was going to meet a man of colour. He turned out to be like kind of like mixed race or something, like mixed with Portuguese or something, innit? So boom, whilst I'm in his yard, he's telling me all these different stories about him going in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. He's from Northampton, born and bred pretty much. Well, at least lived there for like 30 years anyway. He's all like 50 odd easily. Older than my mum, older than my stepdad and that. Telling me all these different stories about man going in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. And I'm just looking at this guy and I think to myself, bruv, you're too old to be going in and out of jail, fam. You're too old to be involved on the street. And I'm not saying a man is riding out and that, but a man, you're still too old to be in the mix of things. He's telling me about who's the tax man in Northampton and all these kind of stupidness and that. Who's trapping, who's not trapping and that. Who's making money doing this, who's making money doing that. But you're too old to still be in the mix of things. There comes a point in your life here where when you're on road, you need to think to yourself, you know what, I'm getting too old for this. I'm way over tariff. Man need to retire off this shit. Because you know what's going to end up happening? You're going to end up like my man, you know. You see this guy, yeah? I was at his yard. And he's all saying to me and showing me that he's got the capabilities and the provisions and that to start growing weed. Now, he ain't going to be doing no mad grow or weed to where he's going to be able to supply the whole of Northampton. Don't get it twisted. But a man's growing weed in his yard and that. And a man thinks it's funny, you know. And he was saying to me, yeah, I just bun weed and that. And I think to myself, nah, fam. You don't just bun weed, you know. I think you do a little bit more than that. Because a man know cats in Edmonton. And this guy reminds me of a cat. Like I said in the live stream, there's a lot of cats that I used to see in Edmonton and Tottenham and that. And these man, obviously man won't respect them because they're cats and that. But back in the day, there was a someone, you know. I'm telling you lot right now, wherever you're from, Brixton, Tottenham, Hackney, Peckham, even if you're from Manchester, Birmingham watching this, there's going to be certain man you're going to see on road right now who are big man, 45, 50 years old, but they're a cat. And you look down on them like they're an idiot. I guarantee you, some of them man there was a someone on the ends back in the day, you know. Like, they had a reputation and that. I guarantee you, some of the man them now, maybe you're rolling with them, maybe you just know them, you see them about their face that you know they got a reputation in the ends. I'm telling you, you check back in 20 years time, they're going to be a cat, you know. That's what happens when you stay on the road too long, you end up turning into a cat, blood. That guy, that tenant that man was chatting to, he's a cat. He told me, yeah, he just buns weed. And I don't believe that he just buns weed. And if he does just bun weed, he's one spliff away from being a cat, blood. I tell you that for free. On my life, cuz. He's one spliff away from being a cat. He's got that cat vibe about him. You know, a man that just, a man's not going nowhere with himself. Like a man's in a council flat and he's just living rough. and he thinks it's funny and he thinks it's cool to be growing weed in his yard. The man ain't got no qualifications and that. You stay on the road too long, they're gonna end up like my man. Telling you, most of them man that you see on the road, them cats and that, a lot of them lot were someone's in the end, and they might not have ran the ends on that, but they were, you get me, a man that at some point people rated him. Now some of the men that I know used to rub shoulders with and flex with don't end up like some of these cats that man see in Edmonton and Tottenham and that. But I know one or two of them is gonna end up like that, unfortunately. During that live stream that I made, I was talking about Top Boy and Deshane and that, and obviously like Top Boy and Deshane, like Top Boy is very far-fetched than that. Yeah, if you think the ends is like that, I'm not saying things don't happen in the ends like that, but the frequency is mad. Top Boy is a bit far-fetched than that. But if you pre a man like Deshane, you know, you have to see, this is the thing, yeah, like there are a man like Deshane who's still on road. One second. It's getting a bit noisy. If you pre a man like Deshane, there are men who are like Deshane still on road, you know. How old is Deshane? Like what, 35 years old, something, mid-30s or whatever. There's man like Deshane who are still on road, blood. Man that are way over terrorists. Not, when I say still on road, I don't mean coordinating and that. No, there's still man like Deshane who are coordinating but also running with the pack. You know what I'm talking about. You seen Top Boy, man is actually on front line going on moves and that. Nonsense, blood. You know you're getting too old for this shit when you're a man like Deshane. You're 35 years old but you're rolling around with 20-year-olds. Why are you even in the mix with 20-year-olds? Why are you even flexing with 20-year-olds? Yeah, my man, I don't hang around with no one younger than me, you know. Literally, the people them that man hang around with, they're all in the same year group as man in school, if not older. If you look at your social circle and that, and a lot of the man them that you're rolling with is younger than you, that there's a problem right there. The people them that you hang around with should be your age. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a friend that's younger than you, don't get it twisted there, but the people them that you're rolling with or whatever, they should be your age or above you. Even work colleagues and that. Obviously there's gonna come a point where your work colleagues will be younger than you, but the field that I'm in, being an electrical tester, most of my work colleagues are always gonna be older than me by 10 years, easily. Easily. Because I've qualified myself to a certain point where it's like, man that are young are not at that level. They're not at that mind frame. You are what you hang around with. If you're 35 years old, still rolling with 20-year-olds going on moves and that, you got the mind of an 18-year-old, 20-year-old. You're still a youth man in your head. If you're a man, if you cannot pull a gal that is older than you, you need to think to yourself, well, why can I not pull a girl that's older than me? Is it because I'm not mature enough? See, my girl's older than me, but I make her feel like a little gal. Because man's of a certain level. Young gal, yeah, I look young in the face, but young girls, they wouldn't even really like me. Because I'll be like their fucking dad. A girl that's 22, me, I'm ahead of my time anyway. Man's 29, basically 30. I'm ahead of my time anyway with my mind frame. Always been said to me, over the last 10 years and that, people always said to me like, yeah, you got an old head on young shoulders and that. If I was to be with a young girl, it would be like I'm her fucking dad. I'll be planning out, mapping out her life and that. She wouldn't even like it. It's getting rascal hot, boy. So I know I need to sort out this aircon. I've never owned a car before with aircon, you know. This car one time, I had the aircon fixed and that, and there was something wrong with it, like an underlying problem, and it only lasted about a week. But yeah, man, you need to start flexing. You need to get off the road, and you know, yeah, you need to put yourself in a position where people them you're hanging around with are older than, at least your age or older than you. If you're a man right now and you're looking at your social circle and that, and most of your friends are all 4 or 5 years younger than you, that's a problem right there, fam. If you look at yourself, yeah, in your social circle and that, and most of your people them is like 3 or 4 years older than you, that's a good thing. And if all of your people them at the same age as you, then they should be doing stuff with themselves and that. Yeah, but you don't want to be like Duchesne. You see man like Duchesne, yeah? Top boy, them man there turn into cats, them man they turn into crackheads. They always say, oh, there's only 2 ways out of the street life, and that, dead or in prison. Nah, blood, there's 4, fam. Dead or in prison, obviously. You go to jail, you come out, you say, okay, boom, I don't want to do the road thing no more. Then I have to be working a shit job. Or number 4, you turn into a cat, blood. Cats are the worst, blood. Cats are always in and out of jail, in and out of jail. In and out of jail for nonsense. Teeth in meat from a shop. This is what these men are doing, blood. Man in a barber shop. Cats will come in trying to sell, man. You know them fucking idiot little older toilet men's perfume and that from Poundland. Them man, their teeth and that from Poundland coming into the barbershop trying to sell it. Man are coming into the barbershop with an IKEA knife and fork set, blood. That could be you know. And I know, man, them are gonna say, man, them that are on road, if they ever watch it, they say, nah, that will never be me. I'm telling you, them man there that are crackers now, that's all teething from IKEA, teething meat from Asda, teething from Powerland, and trying to reshot the stuff to man in a barber shop, they would have said in their 20s, I would never do that. There's man right now that I know, man, that working in JD Sports and that. And when we was in school, when we were 16 and that 15, if you had asked them, man, would you work in JD Sports and that, a man will tell you, fuck off, blood. A man will tell you no, cuz. There's man right now, I see certain man on the ends, like, I see man, couple man driving buses and that, and they look like they could have been like man them on road. If you had asked them, when they were on the bus, 14, 15 years old, letting off fireworks, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't, yeah? Or man are fighting on the bus and that, man are acting like damn jackass on the bus, man are pressing the emergency button to jump off the bus whilst it's still moving, man are lifting up the back of the bus, the back of the shutter at the back of the bus to turn off the emergency button. Them same man there that are doing all them things that I just mentioned, fireworks, fighting on the bus, pressing emergency buttons, emergency stop button and that, shutting down the bus. If you'd asked them man there, do you think you would have been a bus driver in the next 15 years time? They'll tell you, suck your mother. This is what happens. Man, they don't apply themselves, they fall off. Man don't apply themselves, they stay on road too long, way over tariff, they end up turning into a cat. There's certain man watching this right now. I hope it ain't you, you know. But there's certain man watching this right now. You're one spliff away from being a cat. Stay wise, done now.